The term homeroom is taking on a whole new meaning in the age of COVID-19. It's challenging enough to teach in a traditional setting. Well, I spoke with some teachers to find out just how they're approaching the fall of 2020. Parents and kids are all wondering, what will classrooms look like this fall? Let's start with Leslie Johnson, an instructional coach with the Rochester City School District. Leslie.
It's really hard to say because we haven't been given any specifics. But what I would imagine is that the desks for students that are going back into the brick and mortar building will be separated quite a bit. I'm hoping for some maybe plastic partitions. I know, or I imagine that the bookshelves and things would have to be kind of clear. There wouldn't be like classroom libraries where children would be able to just reach and pick any book. They might have to be assigned books and maybe put in like Ziploc bags. They would have to have, all the children would need to have their own supplies and keep their supplies amongst them. They wouldn't have like a pencil area or the glue stick area. All the children would have to keep their own supplies with them in their desk.
Wow, and we have so many changes. Now, Peggy Garitano is a kindergarten teacher in Webster, and you're actually in your room right now at Plank Road North. What's changed, Peggy?
Well, honestly, what's changed is, if you can kind of see around the room, my tables are more spaced out. Right now, there's 6 chairs at each table, but that won't be possible when we get back. I have a lot of room in my classroom, so I can space things out. But she's right that as far as the children's keeping their supplies are going to be totally separate. There's no more shared supplies. It's going to be each child's things are going to be stored separately. So it's going to look very different than what it has looked in the past.
Now, we know most districts are going with a hybrid model, and some kids will be learning completely at home. So how will you keep those kids engaged? And for this, let's go to Brad Feege, a teacher in Greece.
Yeah, so the hybrid model provides some benefits and also some challenges, different than when we were remote learning totally during the springtime. It's all, I think, going to boil down to relationships. We were able to get students to do work because we had already had a relationship with them prior to. So now it's going to be up to the teachers to really be creative in connecting with students and helping them feel a part of a class, whether it's at the elementary or secondary level. Because with that relationship, I think you're going to get the motivation to be a part of the class and to do the class work. There is also the, especially at the secondary level, the motivation of grades. This time, the expectation is the work is going to count and it's going to be graded, and a little bit more than last time. And for some students, that was a major motivation and level of engagement. The other cool thing is just all the different types of technology platforms that are out there, and the ways to provide feedback, instant feedback in some cases, to students while they're working at home, to really help them understand that, yes, this is great, keep going, this is fantastic, because students are going to need to have moments of success right on. In the early stages, it was a lot for them to manage all these different notifications and when am I doing this, when is this due? And so we're going to have to be very aware of that as teachers and help them work through that system and help them with their organizational skills, because yes, they've gone through it, but it's still going to be different being hybrid and in school. It's just another learning curve, but it's doable. We just all have to have a lot of patience with each other as we go through it.
I hear that, especially with doing this Zoom on live TV, technical issues, things like that. Now, we've heard from teachers who think it's too risky to go back to school, and those who think it's critical to get kids back in the classroom. Now, Carrie Gilroy is a kindergarten teacher at the Rochester School number 5. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, as a teacher, looking at the hybrid model, I actually think that the hybrid model offers more chances or instances of possible transmission. In the city school district, we have issues with ventilation, and I'm concerned that we don't have measures in place in terms of testing children, widespread testing of staff. contact tracing and other measures in place to kind of keep tabs, we still have community transmission happening right now. And a hybrid model with children going back and forth to daycare and coming into classrooms a couple days a week, it actually provides more opportunities for transmission, which makes me concerned. Now, in my district, where my daughter goes to school, which is East Arundecoit, they're offering full day, 5 days a week instruction, in-person instruction as an option. And we've made the decision in my family to keep my first grader at home this year, because until I feel that we have some models or measures in place that feel safer, such as 14 days with no new cases in Monroe County, I don't feel safe sending my daughter to school.
Very interesting. Now, Erica Ebert, you've been an instructional specialist leading mindfulness in the Webster Central School District. What would you tell parents and students as they get ready to come back?
I guess you'll get the mindfulness meditation teacher answer is to do the work of training the brain to stay present. So much of our stress and anxiety comes from future thinking or, looking back in the past and it used to be this way. I wish it was that way. And while we have to plan, obviously, one of the most important things to do, not only for the nervous system, but for the body and the mind and the heart and overall is to take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground and get out of the storyline, because those stories create so much stress and anxiety. Also, to understand, as we've all been very used to, that things do change. That feels really uncertain and uncomfortable. And just, I guess, acknowledging the feelings that are happening and finding a way to navigate through those with compassion, not only for ourselves, but for others.
And our teachers here, thank you so much for taking this time. Thank you for what you do in our community, really shaping the minds of our youth. You are so important. And thank you for joining us for this News 10 NBC Back to School special. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Good luck to all our teachers out there.
And to you, the parents. We'll be back with some great resources from your Back to School headquarters.